មគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរត្រឹមរកគ្នាពីមពីសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរបស្រីបដូរបដិញថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសូមអរថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងភូខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គ្រោះជាតិខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេងសានជ័យយោគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិសមាជិកគណៈបកសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាថ្មីគ្មានសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបំរើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរត្រឹមរកគ្នាពីមពីសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរបស្រីបដូរបដិញថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសូមអរថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងភូខលយើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គ្រោះជាតិខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំផ្ដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរឿងសេងសាន
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining our show. This is CNRP-America, Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. Today is November 30th, 2021, the last day of the month. So hopefully you have a great Thanksgiving last week. And more holidays coming up. So thank you for joining our show again. My name is Linda Wu. I am broadcasting live from Los Angeles right now, Los Angeles, California. Before we start, please join me to support ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. Our petition is at change.org. As always, thank you for your continued support with the petitions. So far, we have over 112,000 signatures. Together, we will end impunity for justice in Cambodia. We will take Hun Sen and his ally to an independent justice system. So please help to sign our petitions at change.org. I have a short clip by Her Excellency Mosakur. She's thanking you, especially for helping to support the petitions. Please watch the clip and then we'll come back and we'll discuss and I will introduce my guest for today. Thank you.
អីប៉ាធ្វើល្អបានគេសម្រាប់
រដ្ឋប្រហារថ្ងៃទី5ទី6ជីវជាត្រូវបានខ្មាន់កំភ្លើងបានសម្រាប់
នេះជាប់ពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងរាជរដ្ឋាភិបាលអ្នកក្រៅពីសិទ្ធិ
លោកបដិកម្មនេះត្រូវបានខ្មាន់កំភ្លើងបានសម្រាប់
3គ្រាប់ការពីកដាលប៉ុន្តែអ្នកប្រាក់បេះដូងលែងដើរដើមសកុតភ្លាម
ខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណទៅដល់បងប្អូនដែលបានចូលរួមចុះហត្ថលេខា លើញ៉ាត់
យុទ្ធនាការបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅកម្ពុជា
តាមនិយាយទាំងអស់ពីពិភពលោកបានចូលរួម
ធ្វើនៅកាតព្វកិច្ចដ៏សំខាន់មួយ
ពិសេសយុវជនដែលបានចូលរួមញ៉ាត់បញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជារបស់យើង
ហើយក៏ជាលើកទី1នៅក្នុងប្រវត្តិសាស្ត្រដែលបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងពិភពលោកអាចមានឱកាសចូលរួមស្វែងរកយុត្តិធម៌
ជូនអ្នកដែលបានបាត់បង់ជីវិតទៅ
ហើយដល់ពេលនេះញ៉ាត់យើងបានជាង 100000
ដែលញ៉ាត់របស់យើងគឺមានចំនួន 100000 ជាងហើយ
មិនដែលមានញ៉ាត់ណាមានខ្ពស់ដល់ប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយនីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាដែលយើងចង់បញ្ចប់គឺករណីសម្រាប់ឲ្យបាត់ដូចជាករណីលោកជាវិជាករណីលោកស្រីពិសិដ្ឋលក្ខណៈចាក់នៃលោកករណីលោកឈុតវិធីករណីនៃបដិជនសុនបុនធឿន
បានសម្លាប់រំពាលទៅលើពលរដ្ឋទៅលើអ្នកចេះដឹងទៅលើអ្នកដែលឈឺឆ្អាលរឿងប្រទេសជាតិរឿងនយោបាយ
ហើយបន្តែប៉ុណ្ណោះគឺយើងនឹងស្វែងរកយុត្តិធម៌នៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាទៀតមិនឲ្យមានការកាប់សម្លាប់ប្រជាពលរដ្ឋក្រៅប្រព័ន្ធច្បាប់នោះទេ
ដូច្នេះយុទ្ធនាការនេះគឺជាយន្តការអន្តរជាតិមួយដើម្បីជួយរកយុត្តិធម៌គាត់តាមរយៈអន្តរជាតិ
ដើម្បីយើងប្តឹងទៅតុលាការអន្តរជាតិជួយរកភាពយុត្តិធម៌ជូនអ្នកដែលបានបាត់បង់ជីវិត
ញ៉ាត់ដែលយើងបានមកចុះហត្ថលេខាជាង 100000 នាក់នេះគឺយើងយកទៅអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិដើម្បីទាមទារឲ្យអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិដឹងថាត្រូវតែមានការស៊ើបអង្កេតដោយឯករាជ្យលើករណីទាំងអស់នេះ
លុះត្រាតែបងប្អូនយើងទាំងអស់គ្នានៅក្នុងស្រុកនិងក្រៅស្រុកចូលរួមឲ្យបានច្រើនបន្តនៅយុទ្ធនាការបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
ដូច្នេះសូមបន្តចុះញ៉ាត់ឲ្យបានច្រើនគ្រប់គ្នាបន្ថែមទៀត
ហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាពុកម៉ែបងប្អូននឹងបន្តចូលញ៉ាត់អនឡាញនេះបន្តទៅទៀត
ដើម្បីឈានទៅរកយុត្តិធម៌ជូនដល់ជនរងគ្រោះឲ្យបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
ដោយគ្រាន់តែបងប្អូនមានត្រឹមតែទូរស័ព្ទដៃមួយគ្រឿងនេះគឺជារឿងអស្ចារ្យមួយនៅក្នុងសតវត្សទី21នាសម័យបច្ចេកវិទ្យានេះ
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
ចូលរួមបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅក្នុងកម្ពុជា
យើងចូលរួមបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជាទាំងអស់គ្នា
យើងរួមគ្នាដើម្បីបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
ដើម្បីបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពឲ្យមានយុត្តិធម៌នៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
រួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
រួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
សូមបងប្អូនចូលរួមចុះហត្ថលេខាលើញ៉ាត់របស់យើងដើម្បីបញ្ចប់វប្បធម៌នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាដើម្បីរកយុត្តិធម៌ជូនទៅដល់អ្នកដែលរងគ្រោះ
ចូលរួមបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
Welcome back. Please still support our petitions at change.org. We have over 112,000 signatures. So your support is still vital to these petitions. Again, ending impunity for justice in Cambodia at change.org. Welcome back and thank you for being with me today. Thank you. Again, my name is Linda and I will be your host today. I have, let me see, our topic today, responsibility of citizen in America. And I do have two wonderful guests with me tonight. They both been here. They both I'm very fortunate to have them here today. They give up their time and they've been here many times. So I thanks them for that. Let me introduce my first guest. His name is Sophoan Seng. He is the chairman of Electoral Commissioners of Overseas in Cambodia. So we will talk to him a little bit on that because election is coming up in Cambodia. So let me bring him out. ជំរាបសួរលោកសុផាន់
បាទជំរាបសួរ
How are you?
I'm good, Linda. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for being here today. Like your title said, you electoral commissioners of overseas for election for Cambodia. So election is coming up in Cambodia. Are you putting petition in to be able for the Cambodian overseas to vote, or what is the plan?
The correct name is Committee for Election Rights of Overseas Cambodians, or abbreviation is CEROC, CEROC, or we can call the CEROC. So our aim is to petition the government to allow Cambodians overseas the rights that guaranteed by the Constitution as well as the Universal Declaration of Political Participation by the United Nations, so that Cambodians overseas can exercise fully to vote in Cambodian national elections. Not the commune election yet. We just focus on the national elections, which is mandate every 5 years, and the next national election will be in 2023. In 1993, when United Nations sponsorship Cambodia election, overseas Cambodians were allowed to vote from residents that they are living. So in that time, the UNTA open booth election booth in New York, in Canberra, and in Paris. Although not many participants by Cambodians overseas, but it has become a great symbolic election for democratic movement in Cambodia, because other countries, other democratic countries, regardless of US or Canada, the countries around Cambodia, such as Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia, even though Burma, they allow their foreign citizens, I mean overseas citizens, to participate fully in election, such as they set up the election booth to register their name and also to cast their ballot in abroad or in the embassy. So Cambodian people should be fortunately join this full participation. And the CEROC has campaign and petition, and thank you goodness that many overseas Cambodians signed the petition a lot in that time. But when during the CNRP was in the parliament, we try to lobby the National Election Committee, but the National Election Committee point us to meet with the member of parliament because we cannot conduct anything, because they say that contravene the law, election law. So we go through both party, CNRP party and CPP party, but only CNRP responded our petition. And at that time, they assigned His Excellency Son Chai to lobby, and he draft the law petition to the parliament, but it was rejected in the committee they call a legal committee of the parliament. They don't approve it. So we was very bad. It was very sad, but we will try. And right now it is very challenging while Cambodia become a totalitarian state, because only one party control the parliament. You cannot say that Cambodia right now is democracy. If you say that Cambodia right now is democracy, it is not correct, and it is politically incorrect, and it become a facade democracy, or you just trying to lie yourself and lie the public. So it's not good to telling lies.
Thank you, Mr. Sophoan. Thank you for a very detailed introductions. Yes, it is very important because elections coming up. So thank you. Let me introduce my next guest. His name is Samady U. So Samady.
How are you today?
Good. Samady is the youth president of CNRP-A in Los Angeles, California. So he's very close to me. How you been?
I'm good, Bong. This is almost done with school, and yeah, I've been good.
And thank you for being here. So anything new besides study for final?
Besides studying for finals, there's many interesting hot topic, especially in Cambodia.
Okay.
See,
hold on, I'll have you talk with Mr. Sophoan when he come up. So I know you. We'll talk about current event in a minute. Let me see. Yeah, I think thank you, Samady, for always being here, for always show up every other week. I'm not sure our audience noticing that, but Samady is here every other week. So Samady will not be here next week. So somebody very interesting coming up, and yes, many students, like Brittany said, it's final right now. So good luck on final next week, Samady.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay, let me bring up Mr. Sophoan. Okay, Mr. Sophoan, I normally ask my guests to bring in a current event. Samady has a current event today. What is the hot topic this week, Samady?
Well, one is the U.S. citizenship, like Mr. Samrancy said, for those Cambodian who support Hun Sen regime but pledge to become the U.S. citizen in America. They might receive consequences, as we know, because once you become a U.S., you have to take the pledge, and we will get into that later. But the other one is, as we know, Mr. Kumsaka make a statement saying that please don't use his name on Facebook, social media, or any related political party. Because this is not right to use someone else's name for your political gain. And I encourage people not to be upset because, as you know, he is currently in Cambodia under Hun Sen regime. Of course, he's being pressured to say whatever the regime told him to say. So right now he's in a like under pressure, like heavy pressure from Hun Sen. They kind of use this to as we already know, Hun Sen goal is to divide the CNRP into half, and right now his goal is to do that, but we will not fall for that tricks. We will keep fighting and have courage to speak out, even if the things that Mr. Kumsaka said publicly is not what he wanted to say in his feeling.
Thank you, Samady. Let have Mr. Sophoan chime in on that. It's a very hot topic, and I believe Sunday night. So his political career, for me, looking at it, it's like he is not. It's not good to his political career, and I know that everyone, whatever everyone is making a lot of noises, but from looking from my point of view, it's not if he actually moving away or by himself, it's going to be something that is not good for the party. What is not good for not good for his political career, future political career. How do you feel about that, Mr. Sophoan?
I feel like this is the trap that created by Mr. Hun Sen, and I saw his post in only 5 minutes, and I commented on his Facebook page. I just said shortly that this statement reminded me of Boy from S21. So if you have chance to read the book Boy from S21, I think author by Elizabeth Becker, or we can imagine that do it under supervision of his both Pol Pot, Nuon Chea, Ieng Sary, and especially the commander-in-chief of the Khmer, I forgot his name, but he is a direct control of Mr. Duch. So all the prisoner in Tuol Sleng or S21 has been tortured and confessed things that they did not do, right? Such as CIA agent or KBT agent or traitor agent, whatever. So those when torture them and manipulate them, so those prisoners confess to fake themselves. And finally, when they confess, they cannot escape from the death. So they bring those people, including men, women, and young girls, to kill at young age, about 80 kilometers from S21. So Mr. Kumsaka, it reminded me of this S21 in Kok Tuol Sleng, because everybody know, all Cambodian people and the world know that Mr. Kumsaka is under house arrest. It is in the prison. because he cannot exercise freely. His freedom and his right has been pressure and controlled by the so-called court of Cambodia. And if you say court of Cambodia, it is the court of Mr. Duit. It's not different. It's just different in the level of torturing, but the perception and the infrastructure and the mindset is not different. So Mr. Kaptaka came out with what it is not under his conscience, under his bottom line or heart. He just say whatever Hun Sen want him to say. Or we can say that this Facebook page does not belong to him. It belongs to someone else. And it is out of control from himself. Our observer and scholar try to say that at last time in previously when something wrong, posting not good in Kamsuka page, it will be deleted at least 1 day later. But right now until today, it's still there. It's not deleted. So it means that his page has been hijacked, and Kamsuka himself cannot exercise freely. I just see today that his daughter, Kumonovich, tweeted on Twitter that Mr. Kamsuka exercised his own spirit. So it makes people laugh because Mrs. Kumonovich, she is a young lady. So she's not oldie girl, or we call old head. So young head means that they should have a new vision and new spirit, that when you love democracy, when you love CNRP, and he is the president, why he's not allow his supporter to propagate democracy and to use his image? That is contradict to his spirit, contradict to his fighting. So he fight for what? If he doesn't fight for democracy, he doesn't fight for CNRP, why he did not resign? So he should resign. He had to be brave and bravery and responsible. Cambodian terms say that to be a man, not to be the middle gender, something like that, you know. So
thank you, Mr.
He's
Sophoan.
a man. Yeah, his speech is not a man. His speech not a middle gender. His speech like that is not a man and not a leader. So I think this game show is made by Mr. Hun Sen to manipulate the public. So, like everyone know, Mr. Hun Sen is the mastermind of the game. First game is called Carrot and Stick. So Mr. Kamsuka might receive some carrot, so he cannot avoid from the stick. Yeah. And also the second game is called Divide and Conquer, that Mr. Hun Sen has used several decades ago. Phong Sampech was desperately disappear right now, and I'm sad that Krom passed away without seeing this party rising up again. Never. It disappeared from the Cambodian history, from political arena. It is very sad. So right now, Hun Sen is playing with CNRP to divide and conquer. So his second strategy that he's using, carrot and stick, he can use many with other leaders that have corrupt mindset and entertained by alcohol, by addicting to drug, or by women, or womanization. That how Hun Sen can use those people. But with Mr. Somringsi, Hun Sen cannot, because Mr. Somringsi is not corrupt mindset. He is not a person or a man that womanize women. No, he's not, and he's not drinking alcohol. So it's hard for Mr. Hun Sen to manipulate Mr. Somringsi. But I don't know, Mr. Kamsuka, maybe not the same like Mr. Somringsi. So I put my doubt. Maybe the public know better than me, but I don't know. Whatever, Mr. Hun Sen tried his last game. He cannot accuse this time. With CNRP, with Mr. Somringsi, and with the social media like Facebook and YouTube and TikTok right now, So all our youths have their gun and their weapon in hand. I mean the iPhone and the phone. Yeah. So the phone is the weapon for the younger generation to use to fight against those strict and dirty politics played by Mr. Hun Sen. Carrot and stick doesn't work. Divide and conquer doesn't work. Finally, he had to succumb to the reality, and he had to surrender to the reality. And I think it is the end of Mr. Hun Sen for this generation.
Thank you, Mr. Sophoan. That is so true. That's just a cheap trick that we see over and over again. And as long as Mr. Kum Sukha is still in Cambodia and still like house arrest, where he can only go a certain yard from his house, then it's not valid. Samady, since you brought up the current event, would you like to close it up? The current event. What would you say to youth regarding this whole situation since Sunday, I believe?
Well, to youth, for the next generation, I believe is to have courage. One of the many Democrat, Mr. John McCain, he used to say this one quote: "Courage is not the absence of fear, but the capacity to act despite our fear." Basically, his meaning is like courage is like a muscle. The more we exercise, the stronger we get. So courage in politics in Cambodia is like a muscle. So the more we practice our freedom of speech, the stronger we get. Our voice is being heard in the international level. And as we know, when exercising, when we go run, it isn't easy, especially when you wonder if you get in shape at the end or not. But as we learn, if we keep exercising our courage, in this case of freedom, even though we can't guarantee that we can bring the Hun Sen regime to justice and end the corruptions in Cambodia right instantly by tomorrow or the next year, maybe next couple of years. We don't know that, but if we keep exercising, we're going to get stronger. If we keep speaking, use our voice to speak against the Hun Sen regime, like outside the country, because as you know, no one can arrest us or tell us what not to say and put us under pressure. So we are those people who should voice our opinion. So I encourage the youth to have courage and to keep fighting. The more we speak, the sooner this regime will end in the near future. As you know, in the politic game, to bring change is not in 1 year or 2 years, is about 5 or 10 years. Like in the future, the youth is the future. So as long as the youth will keep speaking out, we will get stronger, just like exercising.
Thank you, Samady. Thank you for bringing up that current event as well. Let me bring back Mr. Sophoan. Let us talk about our topic. Our topic today is responsibility of the citizen, and also going up to in America. Basically, Mr. Sophoan is in Canada, and Samady and I in the United States. So we are basically Americas. I have a short clip where people are sworn in when they become a citizen. So I want a little bit of that in case our audience who's not in either Canada or America have never experienced or have never seen people sworn in to become this American citizen. So let me share that a little bit.
Thank you, ma'am. Secretary Mayorkas, I present to you 21 candidates representing 16 countries who have applied to become citizens of the United States. Each of the candidates has been interviewed by an officer of USCIS and, unless exempted by the law, has demonstrated the ability to read, write, and speak words in the English language. Each has demonstrated his or her knowledge and understanding of the history and the principles and form of government of the United States. Secretary Mayorkas, I recommend that these candidates be administered the oath of allegiance, thereby admitting them to United States citizenship. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand as we swear the oath of allegiance, and please repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. My fellow citizens of the United States, please be seated.
So this is happen all over the country. When you become a U.S. citizen, you take your test, and when you pass your test, then you go and swear in. When you go swear in, that's what the same thing. It's just not with President Joe Biden. So they are lucky about 26, 27 people that got swear in. Mr. Sophoan, since you are in Canada, how does the Canada government, how do they do it?
Yeah, Canada, to become a Canadian citizens, we have to go a long processes, but I think at least easier than the US. I think US 10 years adaptation, right? But in Canada right now, 5 years.
5, yes, 5, yeah.
Oh, 5 years the same, yeah. So you have to get permanent resident first. And after that, you have to live in Canada for 5 years so that you can apply for citizen. But that 5 years, it requires that you have to have level of English proficiency. Right now, they require level 4. And also, you have to know the rights and responsibilities, the Constitution, the history, and you have to read many books, and you have to pass the exam. If you don't pass the exam, you cannot become Canadian citizen. And when you pass everything, they identify your ID, everything, you have to go for a swearing ceremony, the same thing like that. But the swearing oaths are a little bit different. I think US is more stricter than Canada. Canada stated repeatedly that you have to be allegiant to the Constitution, to the country, and you have to serve the country as the what we call a judge, or no, we call if the court asks you to help with as a witness or the judge, you have to present, you cannot deny. And also You have to pay tax and you have to volunteer. Yeah, help the community, etc. And also, you have to believe, you have to exercise and defend the value of democracy. This is very important. And generally, we have two different citizenship. They call citizenship by birth, like our children who were born here. That is citizenship by birth. For this moment, this video clip, I think those people are citizens by naturalization. So citizens by naturalization, this is the question that those citizens, they can discard.
For our audience that doesn't know what neutralization means, that's you were born in a different country and you moved to America, like Cambodian immigrant that moved to the USA.
Yeah, like myself, Linda, I think, Samady, maybe somebody was born in there. I don't know. Yeah, but like myself, I'm a naturalized citizen, because I was not born here. I was born in Cambodia.
Yes.
And this topic is very important because I did a lot of research, because it's part of the CEROC, to do this research about dual citizenship, single citizenship, and multi-citizenship. Constitution of the US and Canada the same. We can carry multi-citizenship, more than 3. But in Cambodia, the same. Cambodia, we can have citizenship more than 3. Like King Rodom Siamoni, our current king, he has 3 citizens. He has Cambodian by born, and he has 2 naturalized citizens. I think one is France, another one is I forgot the country that he was study, and he was trained to be a ballet dancer, part of the Russia Federation. I forgot that country, but he has 3 citizens. I think me, I have only 2. I have only Cambodian and Canadian. Linda, maybe you have 3 or 2. I don't know.
Only 2.
American citizen.
Only 2. I only have 2.
And Cambodian citizen by born, right, by birth.
Yes.
Yeah. So naturalized citizen, don't mistaken. If you do something wrong like crime, or if you have law enforcement, like currently, as I know, there's a scheme and there's a protest, and I saw the people protest in Long Beach, and I listened to their speech. They don't know anything. They're just innocent. They just come up from inciting, or from corrupting mindset. Someone provide them money or give them misleading information, and they come to the street. And one thing that the public is laughing is they have a sign to put in the U.S. land that Samady is a prisoner. Samady, or whatever. There's a lady praising about democracy in Cambodia. She is really ignorant. Cambodia have no democracy at all right now. How can she say that Cambodia has full democracy? That is a lie. So no protesting, they can protest because in US, but in Cambodia you cannot protest like that. If you protest like that, they call Bad Dai Bay, or the hitman, or the undercover man, undercover crime, they come to beat you up. But in the US, nobody beat you up. You can exercise your right, no worry. But if you do something felony or crime, you might be sent back. Although you're citizen or although you green card, the judge can send you back because you're not tried. You're not born here. So make sure you don't do something wrong. But make sure you are not contradict to what you swear in. Like this moment, you swear the oath that you have to protect and defend human rights and democracy. And you are not binding yourself or supporting yourself to any dictator country or communist country. So if you support China, or if you are supporting Hun Sen that inclining to China or leading the country in the wrong way, not democratic one, according to the Cambodian constitution, you might have the bad consequences. Who knows? So just take care of yourself. You can exercise freely. I see that many people in the US, they can swear, they can said something, they can, whatever, that freedom of speech, because they respect you. But whatever, they see that you do something wrong physically, or you provide financial support, or is your criticism is overwhelming or out of the boundary, it's in the red line, you might have the consequences. So that's what I see.
Thank you, Mr. Sophoan. Samady, what are the I know you are citizen. So what is the responsibility of someone who's citizen, especially you starting from 18? What are they responsible for when they live in America?
So when you take the oath, as you can see in the video, you are pledging that you will renounce allegiance to any foreign nations where you have previously held titles of citizenship. And you also declare that you support and defend the U.S. Constitution. In this case, what is the U.S. Constitution? One nation's under God. Our founding fathers always put that in there. They never take it out because one nation, we are as a one nation under God, and founding fathers believe that only God can give us freedom, because freedom is basic human right that is given from God, and no government can grant you that. So in this case, when you swear, you swear to defend U.S. Constitution. In this case, human right. We know U.S. is about democracy, freedom of speech. As you can see in the picture you shows, like someone holding signs, someone see go back to France. This is like kind of racist because one, those people wasn't born here. They are fortunate that the U.S. Grant them permission as the citizen of the United States. So I believe they should not tell other people to go back to their country because they were here. They were fortunate to receive the fund from the U.S. and being brought up to learn about a genuine democracy, free and fair elections, respect human rights, say no to racism. Like George Floyd, we see people going protest, millions of people. So the hot topic right now in America is racism, and you holding those kind of sign that say, go back to your country, someone say go back to France. I believe this is kind of racist. You just can't tell someone to go back to their country, especially when you are a person who were born in Cambodia but were fortunate enough to receive a U.S. citizenship. So I believe if you are fortunate to live in the U.S., you should practice those U.S. Constitution. That is my opinion.
Thank you, Samady. Let me find some more picture that we can talk about. As the hot topic on this topic is that these people that enjoy the peace. All when I watch the interviews, they enjoy the peace and prosperity and the development in Cambodia, and they are here in America protesting and basically say how great and how peaceful and how developed it is in Cambodia. But the ironic is they are here. So I can say, if Cambodia is so great, Cambodia how peaceful, how true peace, how true democracy, and also the development. My goodness, talking about the development. Yes, I don't see the point why they're here in this country holding sign, protesting sign, when they should be enjoy the peace in Cambodia. Do you have anything? Regarding that?
Yeah, reflecting the reality that those people are lying themselves. So they don't know themselves very well. They just act according to their ignorance. That's what I can say. And those people, they don't speak the truth. They just try to manipulate the Cambodian people. You know what they're talking in the US, they cannot manipulate people in the US. But their voice just being used by Mr. Hun Sen to manipulate the Cambodian people inside the country. Because at least in Cambodia, we don't have independent media. So when we don't have independent media, people only listen to only biased media. So the power or the tyranny is the power of lying. How much they can lie, that's how they can sustain the power. So when they cannot lie, the public, the power ended. So this is the reality. They try to take voice and picture from these few people in the US that we can call them like brainless people because they just act according to the directing of some people, or they got bribe, they got some incentive that we don't know. But
they do.
Standing in the free world, in the free country, in the US, and they can freely speak, but they don't defend the value, the country that they are living. They try to contradict themselves. They try to lie themselves, and they criticize the country that give them freedom by praising the country that control the people freedom. In Cambodia, no freedom, no human rights. We can say that, or we can say human right is thank you peace. Freedom is thank you peace, and human right is you have to follow my speech. If you don't follow my speech, I put you in the prison. So that's not a freedom. That's not a human right, and you cannot manipulate the word that human rights is about using your rights, but not annoying or bothering other people's rights. That is not the excuse. Human right is human right. When you was born, when you are born with rights, so you have to exercise it fully, without limitation or without excuse that it might be impacted to other people's rights, or it might be impacted to the state or the government. The government, through the Cambodian constitution, the same Canadian constitution, the same US constitution, is providing unlimited freedom and right to the people. You cannot, any clause, any sentence in the constitution in Cambodia that say that, oh, you can exercise your right, but you have to respect other people's rights. Or you can exercise your rights, but you have to respect the government right to put you in jail. No, government has no right to put you in jail unless you commit felony. But if you express freedom of speech, such as Mr. Rungchon, he is worrying about the border encroachment by Vietnam. As a citizen, he can exercise that. You cannot twist his word into something else and put him in jail. The judge like that must be fired. Must be fired. They cannot be a judge. To put people who express their freedom of speech in jail, no. That's not in the Cambodian constitution at all. That's not at all. That's not right. So you have to learn. In the US, the founding father of the United States, they provide full right to the American citizen because they believe, like Mr. Samady quoting leader, that rights is by born, and you have to exercise it so that you can liberate yourself from suffering. So the founding father of the US not only providing you rights, the citizen or the people, and also in the US they provide you gun as well. You have freedom to carry gun, and one of the purposes to carry gun is to defend yourself from abusing of power by the government. That is one of the purposes. If I'm not wrong, okay? Because US allow people to carry gun. It is illegal to carry gun. But in Canada, no, not yet. And no gun, okay? But in the US, one of the reasons that people are allowed to carry gun is to protect your freedom and rights from abusing of power by the government. In Cambodia, in contradict, Hun Sen himself, very wrong. His perception is very wrong. His advisors are very wrong. Because why? They think that the government is everything. They can control the people. That's why they put people in jail because of exercising their freedom and right. That is contradict to the constitution. And if I write a letter to the Constitution Council of Cambodia, I don't believe they can interpret or they can explain me correctly, because those Constitution Council member, they are the permanent member of the CPP. They are not neutral, and they are not capable to interpret the Constitution without bias. They are very inclined into party bias. They are not inclined into Constitution, and they are not inclined into the people of Cambodia. Those leaders, they never have long vision about Cambodian people's future. They are very side-sorted leader, because they think only today, and they try to control the people today, and when they die, this country will be hijacked and disappear. That is wrong. They don't learn anything. Those old head doesn't learn anything. They are very old head and outdated, I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sophoan. And you brought up about gun rights and gun control. One of these days we will talk about gun control and the right to, I guess, the right to bear arm. And regarding guns, unfortunately, horrible thing happened today in another high school I believe in Michigan. So our heart and our prayer to the family that the 3 of the children that lost their life. So it's tough to swallow when you're talking about guns, and it's not about I believe people want gun control, but at the same time it's a lot of lobbying. So one of these days I'll bring our wonderful audience. Her name is Brittany. Maybe we talk about gun control one of these days and see how come many years the power of lobby, and we should talk about the power of lobby, and that's going to the gun controls. Why we don't have gun control in America.
I think it's very controversial.
Yeah, it's very controversial. Yes. Samady, let me see. I know, Samady, you did not get a chance to take the test. I did not get a chance to take the test for the citizen because I was here young. So my parents, when they become citizen, I was automatically become a citizen. So, but I remember looking at the exam. This is what it looked like. You had to take your written exam first, and when you pass, then you're gonna go swear in, like the show, the YouTube that I show you at the White House. Also, this question, I think it looked like question number 10. And it say, have you ever been a member of or in any way associate either directly or indirectly with A, communist party, yes or no? B, any other totalitarian party, yes or no? A terrorist organization, yes or no?
So what happens if you say yes, you will be fair, right?
You will not become a citizen.
Yeah.
You'll be permanent resident. You're just not a citizen. I mean, you still
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the question. So I'm not sure these people.
So can we send this message to those protesters? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. To those lobbies.
I think they lied on their U.S. citizen test.
Yeah. So these are the questions that you put a signature on. After you're done, you sign your name one time, and then when you go swear, you will say, I'm swear to do this and this. So that lying under oath, that's what it's called, and another word. And when you do lying on documentations, that lying under documentations. Somebody, would you like to chime in on this? I know you didn't get to do it, but should we send it to this? I guess 30 people.
Somebody, you were born in the States? You are naturalized, or you are the?
No, I came here really young, Boo. But I feel like I've been here in the U.S. more than I've been in Cambodia, and I feel like the U.S. is adopting me. I've been brought up here.
That means you were born outside of the U.S. Okay.
I went here. I went to school here since 5th grade, and I haven't paid dollars yet for my education. Now I'm in college. I'm almost done, and I'm very fortunate that I have been brought up here, and all the government paid for me.
Don't worry about the student loan, okay? Let me help you.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking like what is my life will be like if I did not live in the U.S. Maybe one of those student who being influential by drugs, because
Let
we
me
know in
interrupt you,
Cambodia.
Samady. I don't have the, gosh, I don't have the video. I don't have the video, but let me summarize to you. They said Cambodia, thank you, peaceful, very peaceful, very well developed, and thank you some like for bringing the country where it is for the last 40 years from the Khmer rule, and they are so proud that especially the development in Cambodia. So that's what how they described it. Somebody, are you
Um,
still wondering what life is like over there now?
well, in their mind, in Cambodia is very peaceful, because they in here education
They
here, I was taught to have two mindset. One group is open mind, and the other one is fixed mindset. And those people seems like the fixed mindset group. They look really young. They're not that old. So they must have seen Cambodia, like they must have failed to see the humanitarian crisis in Cambodia, because as you know, the UN Human Rights Watch agrees that Cambodia is seriously fall behind in human rights. People being arrested every day, people being killed for supporting their stance on a certain political party group. For example, in this case, they believe that the CNRP can lead Cambodia to a better future, but they don't support the Hun Sen regime. It caused them to fleeing from their country. Some has been killed, some has been jailed for their belief. So I believe those people you should use this open source in the US, because remember, we can go on Google, search up anything. There's no restriction in the US, and maybe search up human crisis in Cambodia. What happened in Cambodia? I believe those people haven't seen what happened in our country as of right now, and they thought it was peaceful. I believe Cambodia never have true peace, because we came from a war country since Khmer Rouge, and the nation hasn't get the chance to rebuild itself into a genuine free country or democracy country to provide a bright future for younger generation. So I don't know what they think. Maybe they think that all people who support a demo, a group who support a democratic ideas is people who have fixed mindsets. So in this case, they see us as the bad guy. I don't know why they think that, but in the U.S. we have our opinion to believe what we believe in. So
Thank you, Samady. I put this comment from Mrs. Samantha saying, Supal saying, I want to read a little bit because this is chime in on a lot of our parents, a lot of people that went to Thai border, went to in Thai refugee camp, and then came to the U.S. So she said, we all came here to the land of the opportunity for freedom and justice. We escaped the dictatorship regime, and we have sworn not to join communists. Whoever support the Hun Sen dictatorship regime, that's the mean they are breaking their oath in the U.S. court. And we all agree on that. Thank you, Bong, for having that comment. And thank you, Samady, and thank you, Sophoan. I'm going to put this up again to remind everybody. That's the questions when you become citizen. Have you ever the question is, have you ever been a member of, in any way associate, communist, totalitarian, and terrorist organization group, party group? So I'm just giving you an answer right now. If you put yes to any of that, you will fail.
I saw in one of the posters they call him Samasi totalitarian.
Messenger.
Yes, I will.
I like that. Though in Canada we don't have that question. Yeah,
yes.
from my experience, I think US is really more strict in that. That's why you are American. You have to be careful. You have consequences because when you swear the oath, you sign and they keep it for 100 years. Even you die, but the document still is there. So don't contradict yourself, those guys. Those guys who are using freedom out of limit, out of boundary. And you forget yourself where you swear in, where the document that you sign. If they call you to the court, you cannot have anything to reject with the court. You cannot justify that, okay, freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want to say, but they found out that you support dictatorship and you support communist regime, you will be out of the country. Is you are sued to the court. So be careful. There are consequences for your action and your speech.
That is correct. And again, they are holding the sign, and again, all these in America, thank you, peace, prosperity, and really great development in Cambodia. But at the same time, they're talking about in this country. Look, Chipstar Ted said that if this group think that Cambodia has peace, they should go back.
No, we don't want to say that because it's common sense, right?
Common sense, yes, common sense.
Maybe they have some problem, like somebody said they have fixed mind game, but fixed mind game is too deep in academy. In Cambodian verb, they said ke mien panya rok prasad, but psychologically psychopath, something like that.
Brittany said they're delusional. That's another word right there. Great word. You know what? Thank you, audience. It's very interactive. What our audience thinking, and many of our audience agree they should send them back. We should help to send them back.
No, so we cannot send them back without decision by the judge. No, don't easily say that, okay? Because it might be a racist. Yes. So depend on the judge. The judge can send them back, but we cannot send them back.
Yes. Or they can just openly support communism idea.
No, we can say that if you are supporting Hun Sen, you supporting development in Cambodia and you supporting peace in Cambodia, why you have to cry out loud from the U.S.? You should go back, right? Maybe me and Samady and Linda can do a fundraising to buy their air ticket to go back Cambodia.
Oh, I'm sure. I am so sure that there's a lot of donation going to be coming in.
Hello, Kong, yeah, my friend from Hawaii. Say hi to me.
Yes. Mahalo Congrino, I guess that's what it called, his name.
Yeah, Congrino, I know. He's my friend from Hawaii. Mahalo.
Yeah, mahalo. So these, so you said these people like living here in the state, but still support communist country. What is a joke? Yes, that's it.
It's not a joke.
It's real. So look, Tia said they are crazy. They should go back. So we all agree on this. So you know what? We are come to the end of our show. We can talk all day long regarding how crazy they are, how delusional they are. But the matter is, if they become citizen, those are questions that they have to answer. So from beginning already, that since they are supporting the regime. That question is number 10. They are lying on their questions, and they're also lying when they take oath for citizenship. Mr. Sophoan and Samady, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you. It was a great conversation. We will talk about something out next week, but thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, our audience, for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This is part of the CNRP-A, stand for CNRP-America. Thank you for being here. Our topic is very engaging. We try to bring you current event as well. If you have any topic you want me to talk about, please put it in the comment. I read every one of them, and thank you again your participation tonight. The comments are very engaging, very engaging, and thank you so much for watching our show. Don't forget to share, don't forget to like our show. Again, I am Linda Wu. This show is in English. We are on every Tuesday night in America, Wednesday morning in Cambodia. Same time, we will bring different guests, so that way they have their view on the current situation in Cambodia. We will talk about what's going on. So if you want me to talk about anything regarding law, regarding any topic, especially in America or in Cambodia, I am more than happy to talk. And again, it's a very sad situation in America today. We have 3 more people that's dead due to gun violence and I believe in the high school called Oxnard in Michigan. So our heart and our prayer to the family. And again, one of these days we will talk about gun control in America and how come the lobby people have so much power. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate that. Take care. Good night, and see you next week.